Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Trading Card Game live video. My name is Jamie and today I'll be taking you through another deck which featured at last weekend's regional championships. This was at Gdańsk, we're going back to that event. But just before we do go into this video, if you do like some content and you want to see some more content related to the Pokemon Trading Card Game, then as always be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course like this video. So this is the second place deck, so yeah, very interesting archetype here. This is a Flareon toolbox deck, or should we call it a Tera deck. So let's have a look at the main focal point of the deck. So this is Flareon EX, 270 HP, Fire type. It is a Tera Pokemon, so we can utilize some Tera cards here. And has these two attacks here. So the first one, Burning Charge for a Fire and a Colorless, deals 130 damage, and you can search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. So pretty good. So we can also power up our own Flareon if we want to. So if we get this off, let's say by turn 1, then what we can do is also attach just a single energy and also bump this up for the next turn for to deal 280, which is a second attack here. So Carnelian here, 280 damage, and you cannot use this attack the next turn. So 280 is pretty significant, does quite a lot of damage, knocks out most things. Pretty good against Mega Absol as well, because Mega Absol has 280 HP. Of course, we can they can also bump that up with things like Bravery Charm, but we can also bump up our attack as well to try and get ourselves over the line. So yeah, and it's also weak to water and has a retreat cost of 2. So that is Flareon. So not really too many things that I can think of that are weak to fire in the format, but still 280 is just a really solid attacker. So, and of course there's a Tera Pokemon, so we can utilize other Tera Pokemon within the deck as well. So what other cards best pair well with Flareon? Well, it is a Tera Toolbox deck. And one weakness that is quite common in the format is grass. So a lot of dark Pokemon are weak to grass. I'm thinking like Charizard, Grimmsnarl, for instance. There's a smattering of Pokemon out there that are weak to grass, so Leafeon becomes an obvious inclusion. So its first attack here does 60 times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon, so that's pretty good. And it has a second attack here, Mossagate, for 230 damage. And we heal 100 damage from each of our Pokemon, which is pretty good against spread decks. So if there's any spread decks out there that are just bumping lots of damage onto your side of the board, then we can heal that damage. That's really, really good. It's pretty, again, things like Frostlass, things like Grimmsnarl, lots of Munkidori in the format. So this does become very, very clutch. But more importantly, it is a grass Pokemon, and of course it does hit weakness as well. So 230 times it by 2, what is that? That's a 460. Pretty strong, hits weakness, knocks out pretty much most things in the format. I think everything in the format that is weak to grass. So that's when we have that in there. So what other Pokemon do we have? Well, the obvious inclusion, of course, if we're playing a Tera deck, is we have Noctowl, of course. We've got a 4/4, a very, very, very heavy line of Noctowl here. So with Jewel Seeker, so we can search our deck for 2 cards, and also 2 training cards, specifically speaking. But that is pretty much most things in a deck that isn't a Pokemon or an energy. So for instance, items, supporters, tools, for instance, all of those fall under the category of trainer cards. So just really, really solid. So turn 1, you want to try and set up that as quickly as you can. And of course, to help us with that, we also have 2 Fan Rotom in here for fan call. So if it's your first turn, we can search them out, which is pretty nice. Of course, do keep in mind that you do need a Tera Pokemon in play if you want to be able to use Jewel Seeker. So on that note, our Eevee line we've only got a 2/2 line here, so we've got 1 Eevee for boosted evolution. So if this is in the active spot on your first turn, then we can evolve it, which is pretty nice. And of course, we have 1 Eevee EX. This is the Tera Eevee, and yeah, and it can evolve into any of the evolutions there. So predominantly here our Flareon and Leafeon, but yeah, it's just used because it's a Tera Pokemon. So we are not looking to attack with this. I mean, you could attack if you wanted to, but it's not very feasible. The typing is very hard to power up, but I suppose you could. Yeah, I suppose energy attachment. Then if you have, say, Sparkling Crystal, or yeah, there are ways of powering up. But generally, you do not want to attack with this Eevee, especially with only 200 HP. It's very, very, very low. So, but very good. That is that, and other Pokemon, other notable inclusions. There's a 1/1 line of Pidgeot EX here. So quick search, can search your deck for pretty much any card and put it into your hand, so that's pretty good. Just a 1/1 line there, so worth keeping that in mind. It's very, very good in terms of the late game. Other Pokemon, so Latias EX for Skyliner there, just to have free retreat on our basic Pokemon. Late game we have a Ursaluna EX there for Season Skill, just to get a solid 240. Other attackers in the deck, we also have Terapagos EX as well for Unified Beatdown. So if we max out our bench, especially with Area 0, we can hit some numbers there. So that's we get 8 Pokemon on our bench. And does 30 times every Pokemon on the bench, 8, 16, 24, 240 damage there we can get. And there are ways of bumping that up as well, so that's also pretty good. And probably the final inclusion that we haven't spoken about here is this one, Ogerpon EX. This is the Wellspring Mask one. And has its attack here, Sob, which is pretty good. Only 20 damage, but your opponent's active Pokemon cannot retreat. So if you are behind in the game, what you can do is boss up something or even counter catcher up something and just use Sob, keep it stuck in there in the active. Most people at the moment are relying on Latias just for Skyliner. There isn't really too many switching cards, but what I have seen a lot of recently is lots of things like Pennies and Professor Toros as well. That can pick up things and get them out of the active spot. But if they're just reliant on basic Pokemon and Skyliner, then this can be pretty clutch. So that's also worth keeping in mind. It's a nice way of stalling out your opponent a little bit. Could even late game try and deck your opponent out with this as well. I have seen that that being done. Late game, just get something stuck in the active and just try and deck out your opponent. It's also another potential win condition there. And also Torrential Pump here is also very, very good. It's 100 damage, which is not too much, but it does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And of course you shuffle all the energy back into your deck. However, if we are, for example, using Sparkling Crystal, then it's just 2 energies just to power this up, so which is very, very feasible. So that is the Pokemon line there, and of course one Fezandipiti there for Flip the Script. So a lot going on with this deck. You have lots of different options there, especially with typings as well. You've got a grass in there, you've got a fire in there. If you want to, you've also got a water in there. So there's lots of typings in there that you can lead with. But that is the Pokemon line. Let's have a look at the trainer lines. So Counter Catcher, pretty standard, just 1. It's quite aggressive, this deck, so generally you do tend to go ahead on the prizes, it seems to be. So Counter Catcher is not of a high count here. Cyrano there as well, Cyrano even, sorry. So yeah, just a search for EX Pokemon, which is pretty nice. 1 Tera Orb as well, just to get out your Tera Pokemon. So Leafeon, Flareon, Terapagos, etc., etc. We've got here 1 Black Belt Training as well. So if your opponent's active Pokemon's an EX Pokemon, which otherwise I don't see any reason why we wouldn't play this, then does 40 more damage. So that's pretty significant. With, say, for example, Flareon, 280. We can get that over the line to, say, 320. So that gets into one-shot range of things like Grimmsnarl EX. So that's pretty good. And also, if they are using things like Terapagos, if they are using things like Mega Absol, then and they're trying to bump that up with things like Bravery Charms and stuff, then we can also knock them out with Black Belt's Training. So that's the idea. But other things in there, so Night Stretchers, Nest Ball, just the 1 Rare Candy there for Pidgeot, if you are able to get that out. There is no Pidgeotto in there, so Rare Candy is essential. Iono, Hilda, pretty standard. Area 0 Underdepth, there's 2 of those in there. So that is just to max out your bench space, and if they knock it off, what you do is you just put things in the discard pile that you don't need anymore, i.e. your Fan Rotoms, Noctowls, that kind of stuff. So that's the idea behind that. 1 Briar, just if the situation arises. Crispin as well, this is very, very clutch. So turn 2, we can get ourselves a Flareon. Even if we miss a turn 1 attachment, we can still pull off a 280 if we have Crispin and Sparkling Crystal, so that could work. So 1 Glass Trumpet as well, so we can choose 2 of our bench colors Pokemon, so things like our, I don't know, Terapagos, for instance, or even Noctowl. That's also a potential play as well. And put 2 energy from your discard pile onto your Pokemon. So that's pretty good. So Noctowl is not a good attacker, but we do have that 1 energy switch as well, which is not loading. Let's try that again. There we go. So, which we can move the energy off one of our Pokemon and put it onto a Pokemon that we do want to lead with, i.e. for example the Leafeon or Flareon. But otherwise pretty standard. Buddy-Buddies in there, Ultra Balls, 2 bosses are in there. So of course the obvious A-spec of choice is Sparkling Crystal. So attach it to your Tera Pokemon, 1 energy less, and then we can attack much quicker. That's the idea. So if we get a Crispin and a Sparkling Crystal, we can pretty much there attack for 280 by turn 2. Even turn potentially even turn 1. If you have an Eevee with boosted evolution in the active spot, you get your Flareon out. And in the same turn, because we can evolve, and then of course we use Crispin and Sparkling Crystal. That is 280 on turn 1 if you are going second, of course. So worth keeping in mind that. So it's pretty strong. And probably the last thing as well in here, which is quite notable. So we max out, I believe, at with Flareon at 320. So 320, which is not enough to knock out a lot of the Stage 2 Pokemon. So if you think about a lot of Stage 2 Pokemon, they go into the 330 range, i.e. the Charizards if we are leading with Flareon. So Gravity Mountain helps us bring down that HP just a little bit, so we can get that into one-shot range with things like Flareon EX. So yeah, so that's why we have that in there. But of course, depending on the matchup, you probably do want to lead with Leafeon anyway. If it's Charizard, you want to lead with Leafeon. So, but yeah, so if we are leading with Flareon for whatever reason, because we can't get Leafeon out, then Gravity Mountain is in there for that. But there's also lots of other Pokemon in the format that also have 330 HP. So that's why that is in there. And then finally, the energy line looks a little bit like this. So, yeah, we've just basically got all the energy there to cover the typings. So, we could be pretty flexible considering we have Sparkling Crystal, so the energy that we're missing, that compensates for that. But we do have there 2 Fire Energy. That is for Leafeon, 1 for Grass Energy, 2 Fire Energy for the Flareon, 1 for Leafeon there for the Grass, and then some other energy to cover the typing. So we've got there 2 Water Energy, so that is useful for both Leafeon and Flareon, and just the 1 Lightning Energy that is also useful for Flareon there. And for a bit of versatility, also 2 Jet Energy as well, so this is also a very nice switching card. Let's say, I don't know, if your opponent has an Ogerpon as well, and they are locking you in the active spot, or there's a reason why you can't get your Pokemon out of the active spot, then Jet Energy becomes pretty clutch there. It's also pretty helpful, so yeah, that is the deck for you. So there is a lot going on with this deck. It's what I refer to as a toolbox deck, or a Tera toolbox deck, but the main focus, of course, is Flareon, and of course Leafeon is your backup attacker there. And if that if that goes down, and yeah, I don't know, you can't get your Eevees out, then of course Terapagos is there as a backup attacker. But that's the deck anyway. Again, lots going on, but we'll play a game with it and see how it plays out. Okay, so let's choose heads and see if we call it. We do not, so we'll see if we go first or second. If we go second, we'll have to try and hope we can pull off that crazy combo of Eevee into Flareon, Sparkling Crystal, Crispin, or just energy. We can also get a Burning Charge as well, so let's see. Alright, Mulligan. Yes, that's fine. Cool. 2 mulligans. Okay. Eevee active, that's not bad. However, well, it means we have our Tera Pokemon in play, but it does mean that we are unable to evolve turn 1 if we do go lead with Eevee there. So, okay. Okie dokie. So, some kind of dark deck. Okay. So, I think let's see where this is going. Let's see, so, okay, yep, that's fine. Okay, a bit of a poison variant deck there, so we don't really miss energy, unfortunately. But, yeah, we do have options there, Carmine, okay. Alright, so it's just like a poison deck, basically. I wasn't too sure if it's Grimmsnarl or something like that. It doesn't seem to be. Let's see, okay. Not too much, I didn't get a Petron there or anything like that. It's fine, it's Buddy-Buddy. Let's get, there we go. Just have a look if the Pidgeot is there as well. Pidgeot is there, yeah, cool, that's fine. So stick that on the bench. And then with Fan Rotom, we can try and get, let's get 2 Hootoots and a Noctowl. I believe we have a Noctowl in hand. We do, we have a Tera Pokemon in play, that's also good. Cool. Next turn, so Crispin into, can we pull, I don't think we can pull off an attack this turn. 200 bosses, no we cannot, unfortunately. Just trying to think, so Crispin into Eevee there, but we're still, there's 2 energy, we still need 1 more, so... Okay, yeah, do we want a Nest Ball here? Do we want to try and use that last bench space? I guess so, why not? Maybe we should just guarantee a Tera Pokemon here, just to guarantee that we've got the... I think that might be the play here, let's have a look. Okay, yeah, let's just go Terapagos here. Yeah, why not? Just to guarantee that Tera Pokemon. And then next turn we can do something with that. So, okay, so let's get a Fire and let's get a. I believe actually that the Grass weak as well. So we should also. Oh no, the Fighting weak. Okay, should also keep that in mind. So let's go with. Yeah, let's go with the Water as well. So stick in hand. Let's put the Water in hand. Cool. So just an energy short there. Actually, it's just a Sparkling Crystal short. Actually, that's fine. And then next time we've got the Noctowls. We've got Terapagos in play. We can also use a Cyrano as well there. Get Cyrano to get our... Okay, there's a Petrant. Okay, so surprisingly didn't put that down last time. So, cool, that's fine. Or even with the Noctowl, actually, we've got bosses in hand. We can Noctowl into Sparkling Crystal and Tera Orb as well. That would get us the Flareon, and then we can knock out something on the bench. So I think that Petrant is doing some damage there with the switching and the poisoning, so we probably need to get that out of play. Okay, yeah, just a searcher, that's fine. Okay, the Pokemon can't retreat, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Cool, that's fine, we'll take that. That's absolutely okay. We're doing taking a lot of damage from poison there, but with evolution, we should get around that, so that's fine. Nice, Area 0. Very good top deck. Okay, let's get our Noctowl into play there. So yes, we do want to use Jewel Seeker. Hopefully Tera Orb is in here. So we've got, there we go. Do we have Tera Orb is in here? Tera Orb is not in here. Okay, so I'll have to Ultra Ball then. Wait, what? Ah, okay, they conceded. Okay, yeah, but TCG Live has been very, very glitchy this morning. I know what's going on. All right, opponent has conceded there. That's fine. But pretty short of a game. I think let's just go play another game and try and get a full game out of this. Okay, let's go with heads. See if we get it. Yes, we'll go first. First is always good. We can set up a little bit quicker that way. But no basic. Let's see. Fighting Sleaze. Can I guess that they're playing Gdańsk, or maybe with the Lunatone variant, or maybe they're playing Mega Lucario? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, done. Okay, double Hoothoot. Let's stick a double Hoothoot there. That's fine. Okay, this isn't a bad setup actually, and we'll try and bait them maybe to knocking out a Hoothoot, then we can flip the script. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, I thought it might be Gdańsk. Cool, Energy Switch is Buddy-Buddy. Eevee. Do we even need... I think we get a Fan Rotom just to get the Noctowls out. It's fine. Cool, Fan Rotom. We'll get Hoothoot, double Noctowl. That's fine. Just use the bench space as well there for we need a Tera Pokemon. Let's get another Eevee. And I guess we'll stick that there. And if one Hoothoot goes down, then we have the option of using Fezandipiti the following turn. But I think that's a pretty good setup. I'll take that. Now the question becomes, can we get a turn 2 knockout, which I believe we can, with the double Noctowls, providing we don't get Iono'd or anything like that. So let's see. Let's see, we need a, here, if we have Tera Orb, that will get us the Flareon. Then we can just get, we need 1 energy, which we have Jet Energy actually. We can Jet. Yeah, no, that could work. Oh, it's Mega Lucario, interesting. I thought it was Gdańsk. Alright, this could be interesting. Cool. If they stick with just one Riolu on the bench, we need to try and knock that out. I don't know if that's possible. Bosses. How do we get the energy on? That's the issue. So energy, Sparkling Crystal, Flareon bosses. I don't know if that's asking for too much. Energy. I think with the amount of Hoothoots we have, I think maybe we could get that. Surprised I had to put more emphasis on the Riolu there, because if that goes down, that's I think that's probably not far off game, I think. So Noctowl, cool. Then we need access to another Noctowl. Let's see. So we jet energy the Eevee into the active Squawkabilly. Okay, that's another two prizes later on. Yeah, so they're not going to get on the Riolu down, so we need to really focus on hitting this, knocking this out. So we jet energy and Eevee into the active. Then we need a Flareon there. We can just a fire energy or a Sparkling Crystal. And then we can get off, yeah, just the 130. Okay, actually, that actually helps us quite a lot, that Noctowl. Oh, sorry, that Hoothoot going down. Let's put Fan Rotom, because we're going to have to use Jet Energy this turn, so we'll stick a Fan Rotom in the active for now. Oh, there's Tera Orb. Nice, okay. So, let's just do it this way. Let's stick the... what are they doing? Okay, we'll keep the Eevee. We need the Terapagos in place, so we'll keep that there. Cool, move that to the active. Tera Orb, let's just do a bit of a deck then here. Cool, stick that on there. So now we need a Sparkling Crystal and a Bosses, basically. Stick Fezandipiti down. Can we? Oh, we don't even need. They're just helping us out here. Look, we just use Counter Catcher, which we have in hand. All right, so let's flip the script. Nice, cool. So let's get a Noctowl down. I think we are pretty good to go on this game here. So let's go with Jewel Seeker. Yes, let's go with. Let's get a Sparkling Crystal. Area 0, maybe. I think that's probably a good play. Try and max out our bench a little bit more. Just Area 0, Sparkling Crystal there. So we can use Burning Charge. There we go, Burning Charge is available to us. Stick that down, stick a Terapagos down. And do we need anything else at this point? I don't think that we do. We didn't use a support card, did we? I don't know, we haven't, no support card. So let's just try and solidify our position a little bit more. Yes, Jewel Seeker. Let's just use Briar, and we'll get a spot card for next turn. Maybe we're opening one bench space. Let's get a Bosses for next turn. That's what we have in hand. Actually, we're gonna use Flame Charge anyway, right? So Bosses, and I'm just getting an Iono or something like that, maybe. Cool. Yeah. Cool. That's fine. Yeah, Bosses for next turn. Try and bring something up. If they put out another Riolu there, we can do that. 130. Cool. There we go. And we'll grab a... we don't need to use Burning. We can just do that. Actually, the Lightning Energy, because that's not going to do too much. Stick that on the Eevee here. There we go. That's fine. And we keep recycling their Burning Charge. There we go. Just one. Nice. Okay. Pretty good turn. Actually, maybe another play could have been actually last turn. Just move very quickly there, but we could have got Ultra Ball and Rare Candy. That could have got us into hand. The Pidgeot for next turn. I didn't think Pidgeot is primed. I looked at early game, right? Cool. So unless they manipulate our hand, they can get one Riolu into play. We'll just boss that up and knock it out. That's the idea. Cool, Gravity Mountain, that's fine. So here we just ditch things we don't want. There we go. They can go. Don't really need those. If they don't put down a Riolu, we'll just go with the Squawkabilly there. Could also get that up, take 2 prizes, and we also get some more resources from our prizes as well, and that's also pretty helpful. Okay, just a Cosmic Beam. 70 damage. Oh, another Bosses. Cool. Right, well, I don't think we really need to do too much here. We don't need to... I mean, they've got a big hand there, but they're not drawing. They don't seem to be doing too much there. I don't know why. But we'll just bring that up. And I guess we'll just Burning Charge. Oh, man. I forgot the Squawkabilly's not weak to... What a misplay. That's so annoying. Let's have a look at board. Okay. Man, I forgot this. I thought it was a steel. I thought it was a metal type. It's weak to fire. It's not weak to lightning. What a headache. What a headache. Alright. I want to misplay as well. Alright, that's fine. Got a bit trigger happy there. Forgot it's a flying type and it's weak to lightning. Ugh. Whatever. Whatever. Live and learn. Either way, I think they are don't have a Ryulu in play. So as long as and we have a bosses in hand, we can bring that up and knock it out. Ugh, 2 bosses to knock out a Squawkabilly. Yuck. That's fine. I think we'll just knock out whatever's in the active. I think we'll just knock out the Soul Rock here. Knock out the Soul Rock. 2 prizes, bosses. Yeah, sure. What do you bring it up? Terapagos maybe? That's a... Okay, interesting. Fezandipiti. Okay, sure, yeah. It's got a resistance as well. It's still got a weakness, actually, but it doesn't matter because it's not affected. Okay, 100 damage. Sure, yeah. We've got Energy Switch. We can get ourselves out of this. Oh, wow, 130. Not bad. Alright, Cosmic Beam. That's fine, 130. That's fine, they're just burning resources for nothing effectively. Night Stretcher, sure, anything we want to get back? Nope. Alright, we'll have to Energy Switch. I'd rather not. So let's take the Water Energy. Yeah, I think we've got another Water in deck. So we'll treat that. Cool. Put Flareon back in the active spot. It's Burning Charge. I believe we have another. If not, we also have other resources to get a Water Energy back. It's fine. Stick that onto Eevee there. That goes down. Okay, so now we're 2 EXs from winning game, basically. Cool. Do we have another Hoothoot? We do not. So we'll just knock out whatever's in the active, basically. They put a Ryulu. They need 2 Ryulu here at the moment, and that way they can guarantee themselves a Mega Lucario the following turn. That's why we're holding back on the bosses. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is a very interesting game. Alright, we'll just knock out this Soul Rock. They're leading Soul Rock. I don't know. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's 100, 170. Well, gradually taking down my Flareon. I've got maximum belt as well. Okay. What is that? 7, so it's 100, 150, 100, yeah, so 50. 220. Okay, Ultra. If they don't get... Okay, finally, they get it. Okay. Okay, Determination, sure, yep. Okay, double root. Okay, so that's what they need, basically. Tool Scrapper, okay. Oh wow, that's a game changer. That makes a difference. So now we need a fighting energy. Do we have? We've just got a water in discard. We can. We have to attach and retreat. Okay, it's Flareon, nice. Okay, which we can stick that there. That's pretty good. Alright, we have to assume they're going to get Mega Lucario out. That's fine. That's really annoying. They've ditched my energy there. Let's see, can we get something? Discard here. Yeah, we can take the water energy back. Retreat that. The Flareon there. Do we bring up a Riolu, knock that out? This is doing what? So 70 plus 50 is 120. Okay. I guess we'll just. We have another bosses in. 2 bosses. I think we have one more boss in there. And then we'll try and Burning Charge for the knockout. 30. What do we have in deck? Oh, I've got 1 there. Can we go 150? It's not really doing Burning Charge on there. Maybe Terapagos might be the play here. Maybe we might need to start leading with Terapagos there. So one more knockout, and that's Squawkabilly. Ultra Ball, okay, nice. Actually, I think we might have to... we've used Counter Catcher. We've used 2 bosses there. Unfortunately, we should have only used 1 by now. It's really annoying. But let's see. Let's see. They have used a lot of their the boosters there, so they've used a lot of the Premium Power Pro. So they've used what, 2 of those? Yeah, 2. Okay, research, sure. There goes another one as well. Wait, they didn't play that. Why didn't they play it? Let's see what can we? It might have a, I don't know, Night Stretcher in deck or something like that. So. Trying to think if, yeah, we don't really have many resources in deck. I mean, I think Terapagos has to be the play here, just for the energy efficiency. So we need 1 more energy there on Terapagos, and if we can get ourselves a, oh look at that, that is mega gold. So 340, actually at 340, that would be game on a mega Pokemon. Actually, that could be the play. So 270, yeah, 270 is knockout, but they need 1 more energy. Can they get the other energy? That's the question. Or they're just going 130. I mean, if they're not getting the 2 shot on here, not really too sure why. They are leading with Aura Jab. Okay, that's very interesting because I believe 1 more bosses in deck, providing it's not prized, and I'll get some damage on this, and I'll just try and knock it out the following turn. So not too sure what the play is there. Alright, we'll smack them back with 280. So there's a Latias in there. Okay, that's fine. So, okay. Do really need, we need some information to deck here. So let's Ultra Ball. Let's Buddy. And let's get rid of Ursaluna. Might not be a bad shout, actually, to keep that. Noctowl, I think. Alright. Let's just see. We need some more information to deck. What do we have? Let's have a look. We have a Rare Candy. Oh, we have Rare Candies in there. Okay, we've got Night Stretcher in deck. So we also got Glass Trumpet as well. But we've also got no. Okay, Glass Trumpet would actually get us the energy onto Terapagos actually, so that would work. Area Zero is in there, 150. We don't even need to get Area Zero actually. We just need. Do we have access to another boss in there? We do not. Okay. So let's just grab then a. Let's just grab Pidgeot. Okay, I know for 3 we'll give them 5. I don't know if that's a good trade-off. I don't think it is. It's 280. I believe this list played, I'm going to double check actually, I believe this list played 3 bosses, not 2. I thought it played 3. I thought it was 3 and 1 counter catcher. Could be wrong. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I know that's fine. I think I'm doing that myself actually. The previous turn. 9 cards in deck though. Okay, if they lead with this Mega Lucario, which they certainly shouldn't, then that's game. We've got Hilda in hand and Night Stretcher in order to get the energy back, and then the energy would then fuel for Unified Beatdown. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, that's knockout. Unless they're assuming that just from having played that Iono that I don't have access to energy, unless that's their strategy, I don't know. But let's see. Oh, okay, interesting. All right, very strange tactic there, I think. But we have knockout there with we have actually knockout with Terapagos there. So they'll take 2 prize cards, so we just knock out the Mega, and I believe we win. Oh, okay, well, they just conceded. Okay. Alright, okay. Yeah, I mean, we had Hilda in hand, we had also Night Stretcher as well, so we certainly did have the knockout there. 3 prizes, knock out the Mega Lucario, that would have been game. So, but interesting list, a lot going on with this list, so my head's having to think quite a lot in terms of, especially the energy attachment as well, where to stick the energy. So Grass energy, generally you want to keep that only to Leafeon, you only play 1. Lightning again onto Flareon, but they both utilize the fire and the water, I believe. So, but you let me know what you think of the deck. So this came second at the Gdańsk Regional Championship, so very, very interesting list. Hits a lot of numbers as well, which I quite like. But this will be in the description box below. So, and of course, if you do like this type of content, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well, and also keep tabs for other content coming out soon related to tournament-related decks as well. So, but yeah, there you pretty much have it, guys. That was Flareon EX, or a Tera Toolbox deck for you, which came second at the Gdańsk Regional Championships. And yeah, see you all in the next one.